Hey, what's going on, welders? Natalio Cortez, Let It Shine Welding. Do you have trouble with open root 6010 on bevel plate or pipe? Then this video is going to help you guys out. So this video is going to be broken down. I'm going to have different parts from start to finish. In this first section, I'm going to break down the preparation of your bevel plate, your pipe, how to put on a proper landing, a proper gap, cleaning it up, obviously. But the main thing we're aiming for is how to set a proper land and a proper gap with the different tacks that we can use, and how we can use that to help us get into our root. So that's going to be on our first part of this video. Then after that, it'll be the hot pass, fill passes, and then cap eventually. To weld this out, I'm going to be using my Matic 220 AC DC welding machine. You guys can Google it up, YouTube it up to see what it's about. Great machine. The reason I'm mentioning this machine is because I'm going to be showing you guys how it works and all that good stuff in the next few videos. But I'm going to be raffling this machine off in the next 3 to 6 weeks. So just stay tuned for more information on that. I like to tack my plate and pipe at a 45-degree angle. That way I'm right over it. I can see exactly what I need to see. The main thing on the plates here is our landing, which we use the 7018 3/32. Remember, you want to measure in 3 spots. You never want to measure on the edges. Always about 1 inch or so in, and holding the rod, looking directly on top of it to ensure that you have that size that you're looking for. Using the 6010, which is 1/8, if you want to go to a 1/8 landing. Bright, shiny, clean metal is what you're looking for on that bevel. Once you get that bevel cleaned up, work on your landing. For your landing, you want to grip that grinder with a secure grip and have it as straight as possible and as flat as possible. You'll start seeing that landing starting to form. And over time, you'll start to eyeball it. Once you think you're close enough, stop, check it, confirm it. But as you grind, you want to watch that back side. With that grinder, you're going to leave a little lip hanging over. And if you don't pay attention to that, it could give you a false reading. Right now, it's looking like a 3/32, but once I take that lip off, it's going to be closer to a 1/16. So use a grinder or a file to knock that lip off, and then confirm your land and continue until you're satisfied. No need to rush this prep. So now we're going to go ahead and fit them up, break them off. And then what I like to do is put them bevel to bevel, check to make sure that I have don't have any openings within my plates. But if you do, that's whenever you tack them back up if need be, or you can clamp them down and grind down that high spot that's preventing or giving you that wide area to work with. Now talking about the pipe, same thing, clean it up on the bevel, about 1 inch or so on the outside. Pipe itself, about 1/2 inch on the inside. And then whenever you're working on your landing, like I showed you guys with the grinder, you want to start about the 12 o'clock, 11, come past the 6 o'clock and get off of that and go the opposite direction from about the 1 o'clock to about the 5 o'clock and come off. Grinding this as flat as possible. You don't want to angle it any type of direction, as flat as possible. As you come down, you want to put firm pressure, and you can hear the type of pressure that I put on the grinder. It's not much at all. It's the weight of the grinder and just me trying to keep it steady. All right, there's no need to rush this prep. Especially with that grinder. That grinder can eat up your metal a lot faster than you think. All right, so very light pressure, and you'll see that landing starting to form. Once you think you're there, stop, get your 7018 3/32 1/8, and on the pipe you want to check it in 4 spots: 12, 6, 3, and 9. No certain order when it comes to cleaning up the pipe, but the last thing you want to work on is your landing. On your bevel, you want to shine it up until you see bright, shiny, clean metal.
On the inside, you can use a cone grinder, a file, or if you have a pencil grinder to get inside. Again, you don't want to put too much pressure on that. You want to grind it till it's clean. And the last thing you want to work on is that landing.
All right, so now we're gonna break down both tacks. You got your bridge tack and penetrating tack. A bridge tack is just that. You're gonna start off with the 60-10, developing your puddle on either plate, let it cool down, go to the opposite plate, make your puddle, establish some metal, let it cool down, and that's gotta be quick. If you stay there too long, you're gonna blow that thin piece of metal out and making you a big old hole. The transition has gotta be quick. You go forward and back to the previous puddle, establishing more metal each time. I'm over exaggerating here. It's not gonna take that many times to go back and forth, especially on that plate. Maybe three times at most, and you'll get them connected. After that, once you get it connected, you'll see the welds come together. After that, that's it. You don't want to put no more heat on anything. Otherwise, that bridge is gonna fall and making you grind all that metal off and retry it again. One of the main reasons we use a bridge tack is the best way I can explain it is on a pipe example. As you start your root pass, let's say you start your root pass back here on a penetrating tack and you go off into your gap, you start your weld, you're running your root, it's all good. You come to that bridge tack, you're gonna stop, grind off that bridge tack. Once you grind off your bridge tack, now you have full access to that root pass where you stop. Once you stop, you're gonna feather that root.
You want to be surgical with that grinder. Take your time with that grinder, have a good grip on it. Safety is first, but you want to look for that burnt color to let you know that that spot is paper thin.
Giving yourself a thin root so that whenever you restart in the back side of that root, you get that puddle going, and instead of blowing through where you left off, where you stopped at, now you're gonna blow through previous on that thinner spot where you feathered it off with your grinder. On the back side of that weld, you're gonna have a better tie-in.
So you never want to restart right on that keyhole. Always start behind it, come to that light feather, so that way you can blow through on that thin spot to have a better tie-in on that back side.
To continue your pass all the way around that pipe or completing that route with easier tie-in and or a restart. The penetrating tack, on the other hand, is a stronger tack because we have to have about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch long tack and feather it off on both sides as you're getting to it or taking off of that tack.
Make sure you secure your plate so you don't get high-low. And you can see the difference right here between a bridge and a penetrating tack.
So as you're going in with your 60-10 to make that penetrating tack onto that pipe.
Go in with a purpose. So have control of that electrode, start that arc, look for those small details that are gonna pay off at the end.
My rod, if it grabs the bottom, so be it, right? Meaning the arc starts off at the bottom. I'll stay there, create my puddle, go up to the top. But if it was up to me, I'll pick that top pipe, establish my puddle, build a little bit of metal, so I can use that gravity to help me pull that metal down a lot easier versus me trying to pick it up to that top pipe. So I start off on that top, let that puddle build. I come down, make that puddle on that bottom pipe. By that time, the top puddle still kind of melting down into it. Reach up, go back and forth if I have to, once or twice, get that connection. You never want to treat a tack as if it's not important. A tack is a weld. So once you get this established, you want to get going as fast as possible with your technique. In this case, I'm going to talk about the stitch method, just back and forth. So I'm going to start my stitch method, and what I'm looking for in that gap is for my keyhole to get established.
That keyhole tells me about 99% about what I need to know about my amperage and my technique.
Once I have my keyhole established and I have my rod, now I'm changing up my rod angle here to give you guys a better view. But now I have my keyhole established, and as I'm running my root tack, I'm treating it like as if I was already welding my root pass, okay? So what I'm looking for here specifically on that pipe is for that keyhole to follow me.
I want to use that tip of the rod ever so gently to make a path, to burn a path for my puddle. I don't even want to go back too much to the left unless my puddle needs some help from me. Then I go back and pick it up. But otherwise, I'm staying in front of it, burning a path for it and pulling it.
Amperage-wise on my root passes, I start off all my tacks at 75 amps. And what I'm looking for is for that keyhole, those signs, to let me know if I got the right amperage. If I strike up and you know I'm welding, I see a puddle and everything, but I don't see that keyhole on that pipe, then my amperage is too low. I got to turn it up. That first tack, you're gonna set it at, you know, whatever amperage. In my case, 75 amps. And let's say, man, that was a little too hot. I'm gonna go down about 3 amps. So go down to 72. Go to my second tack, make that tack. And you know, I'm still not feeling it. No, I need a little bit more. I go up 1 amp. So you never want to jump around 5, 10, 15 amps. That 1 amperage makes a big difference. 1 volt makes a big difference. So that way, by the time I get to the 4th tack, if I have to turn it up 1 more amp, maybe 2 more amps or down, I set that so that when I get to my 4th tack, I see everything I need to see. I hear what I need to hear, and I'm comfortable. And now I'm ready to start my root pass without even guessing if I have the right amperage for that root pass. That make sense?
Before putting on that spacer, you want to place pipe on pipe.
And what I'm looking for is the tightest fit possible. I'm not gonna get the perfect fit, but I'm gonna get as close as possible of a perfect fit that I could get. And once I see a tight fit, I'll stop at that point, get better eyes on it, shine a light on it, and ensure that I don't have too many spots that I'm not gonna be able to work with or have a hard time with. Once you see that tight fit, you wanna make a mark to let yourself know where it's at. But if you haven't gone all the way around, you wanna keep going all the way around to check 100% all around that pipe for the best fit possible. Once you have your lines lined up, come in with your spacer sideways, bring your pipes down, line up your lines. On the inside of your pipe, feel with your fingers, the walls, the inside walls. Make sure you can slide your fingers up and down without feeling the edges of that bevel. Double check your line, see how it shifted over a little bit. Bring it back over, line it up, go back inside the pipe where you line the walls, go back to your lines on the outside, line them up, go back and forth as much as you need to confirm both. Once you've confirmed both, now you're ready to tack.
If you don't have a helper, put something heavy enough to hold down that top pipe. That way, when you go to strike up and you have a hard time striking up, you don't move that top pipe around too much. Also, use that left hand. Use that left hand to hold that tip of that electrode. So that way, when you go in with a purpose and hold that electrode as steady as possible and be as consistent as possible. Double check your spacing. Once you're satisfied, make that second tack. Again, paying attention to that amperage, looking for that keyhole, listening for those certain sounds. Attention to detail. These are things that we have to be paying attention to, looking out for. So that way, as we're making our root pass or whatever weld, we know exactly what we're looking for. Right here, I'm simply trying to even out both sides. Sometimes you end up with a tighter side than the other. So even those out as best as possible, and then go in for your third tack. On your third tack, focus on your amperage. Get it about that 90%, 100% if possible. So that way, by the time you get to your fourth tack, you have your amperage zoned in and you can start your route without having to worry about that amperage. I hope you guys got something out of this video. Part 2 is coming up. Here's a preview of a few things that are going to be in part 2 and more to come. For now, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, share the videos, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. There's more to come. God bless. Let it shine, baby.